Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Victoria-Monique and I'm here to either love you back into your fullness or just to give you information on how to play the game of life and how to win at playing this game. Because we're all winners and you win all the time. The question is, do you like what you're winning? Because you're constantly creating, you're constantly manifesting something. It all comes from you. You know that by now, right? So, yeah. How do you create what you would like to create? So, there will be nothing really new in this video, but probably what will be new is the perspective that I give today at this moment. Because every time I make a video or someone else makes a video on the same topic, it will always be from a different perspective. And all of these perspectives together and on repetition will help you fully trust that it really works this way and double down on what is necessary to experience the reality, experience the experiences that you're looking to experience. There's a lot of experience in there. Before I go into what I was going to share for sure, actually two things. So tomorrow, depending on which day you watch this and where you are in the world, tomorrow is the 1st of June in Holland, in Amsterdam, but also in the other cities of Holland. And probably also in Europe. Yeah, in Europe too. Anyway, okay. And I am doing a manifestation month thingy. You can call it challenge, you can call it whatever you want. So for the month of June, you get the chance to be guided by me via email. It's only 33 euros, which I think is a very amazing price. And I will guide you. I will first of all give you a frame which you can forever use how to view reality. And I still remind myself of it, and I am doing pretty good in the areas of my life that I would love to do good in. And I still remember myself. So I will give you that frame, and then you will get twice a week, you will get an affirmation that I want you to focus on. And there will also be some back and forth, which is only for this challenge, because this is one of the first times that I do something like this. And I just really want you to succeed. And you will, and you have to double down, dude. If you don't want to join, that's totally fine. I will give you some pointers on how you can succeed by yourself. The only reason you would want to work with me or anyone else that is doing this stuff is that you have someone that is having your back, that is loving you through this, that you feel like you're not in it alone. That's the only reason. You can definitely, totally do it alone. You don't need me. It is just on I would love that for myself. You know, if you would love that for yourself, then go ahead and click the Linktree link in the description, and then you will go to the email, and then you send me an email. Then I have your email. I send you a Stripe payment link, and then we can get started. So the first thing that I want to say is this. I have been hearing some people complaining about coaches that have what would the word be? Like these coaches were fake and they took a lot of money from these people and blah, blah, blah. And when I hear that, I'm thinking, How is that not victim mentality? We are learning and teaching that we are responsible for everything that we create by our thoughts, our feelings, and our beliefs and our assumptions about reality. So, how is that not being a victim? If you've gone through a situation, you're like, fuck, someone just pulled my leg. It's this is not the right, but you know what I mean. Someone just took a lot of money of me and they're fake and. Dude, you went to that coach. You had like panic going on or something going on, and you went to that coach, and you probably had a belief that coaches cannot be trusted and it's probably too good to be true or whatever. You know what it is. So you're not a victim, you're a creator. Also, you can never lose anything. You can't. We are not playing the victim 3D game, dudes. We're playing the limitless spirit in a body game. So stop behaving like a victim if you want to really create your most amazing life experience. You have to take responsibility for everything, and don't go crying and say, and then. No, it is all you. Everything comes from you. So if you're still with me, maybe you were like, fuck you, I'm not going to listen to this shit. Then, well, then you didn't hear this part, and good for you. If you're still with me, you are responsible for everything. I love how Joseph Ally said this a long time ago in one of his first videos. Either everything is God or nothing is. And I teach it like this to people that I work with. Don't mix and match belief systems, because you're going to get a mixed bag of nuts and you're going to go fucking insane because you don't know anymore. Okay, so did I create that? Like, how did it? No, go all in. Go all in or not. But don't mix and match. So you can't say, oh yeah, that is really cool and I created that. Thank you. But so and so, they ripped me off. That was what I was looking for. They ripped me off and they're... What the fuck? We are not victims, we're creators. So if someone ripped you off, it had a reason. And the reason was your expectation. The reason was your expectation. The reason was whatever. It has a reason. And also, it is for you. Everything is always for you. Everything, everything, everything. That is the game of life. You didn't come here to be a victim. You came here, and you are, to be a creator and to own up to your creative power. That's why you came here. Because you are a creator. You cannot not be a creator. That's not possible. But you came here to own up to it. And everything brings you into new levels of your power. So, if you had someone that ripped you off, stop complaining. You can punch and scream and kick. Take a pity party time out. But no, you created it for some reason. And now that you know better, you can do better. Okay. Now that I have that off my chest, I'm going to give you the video. It's already the video, but what I wanted to share. What I love, 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 love. So Seth and Bashar are going to be highly represented in this video. And moi, little old me, because I'm telling you this. So, there is only simultaneous time. you create the past from the now. You create the future from the now. So the point of power, that's how Seth says it, is now. So when you start to feel about what happened just now or yesterday or longer ago, you're setting yourself up for failure in the future because you will only perpetuate that shit. Don't be like Lot's wife, who turned into a pillar of salt because she was looking back. That's from the Bible, and it's Neville's explanation. Neville Goddard, you know him. Bashar, and I love this so much, and I've quoted it and I will keep quoting it until I will stop making videos, which is probably never. I will keep quoting it. So you're shifting from parallel reality to parallel reality to parallel reality to parallel reality billions of times per second. He says it is your consistency of self-definition that makes it seem as if changes take time. Self-definition is a state of being. What do you believe to be true? What are you telling yourself constantly in the quiet of your mind? Because you're constantly telling yourself something. You cannot not tell yourself something. That's not possible. Even when you dream, you're telling yourself something. So you're always communicating with yourself. So your state, your self-definition determines the consistency of that self-definition, how quickly things shift and change. Assuming that you want to see a change, but otherwise you wouldn't be listening to this, watching this video. So I assume you want to make a change. So your consistency of self-definition. Bashar also says this: if you learned to redefine yourself wholly, and this is mind-blowing, and I've experienced this shit too, and I will get into it after I give you this quote. If you learn to redefine yourself wholly, you will be a different person in a different reality with a different DNA and a different experience and a different history. Right? Especially the DNA part. How do you think spontaneous healings happen? How do you think some people express a form of a disease and it runs in the whole family and one person says, not me, and they don't get that disease? How is that possible? So what I know for me is that I have changed my hair, I have changed my skin, I have changed. So all women in my mom's side of the family are big mamas. They are big mamas. Mama, if you're watching this, I love you to pieces, and we both know you're a big mama. More of you to love, and you're a big mama. So they all have thyroid issues, except for one of my aunts. She's like really skinny. All the rest of them, big. My grandmother, bless her heart, who's now an angel, was also big. All the women are big. I am ripped as a motherfucker. Have you seen my workout shorts? I decided no. That's not gonna happen for me. There was a time that it was happening for me. I was never like super big, but I did have this, like, if I would only look at something, I would gain weight. And I decided, no, not for me. So, My hair changed from, like, I don't know if you have watched more videos of mine, and then you can also see the change in physique and hair, and yeah. So just take it from me and test it if you want to test with it. And if not, then not. Okay. So consistency of self-definition. Then I want to read you something that I love so much. So it's about how you choose probabilities, because a probability is something that you could have also experienced and can still experience, and how events are made. So that's what I'm going to get into now. Let's see. Yeah. So Seth tells us, this is from Linda Madden-Dowell's book, Living a Safe Universe, the Living a Safe Universe, the first volume. Seth tells us physical events imply the collection of non-physical forces into an organization existing outside of time and space. So everything is in a spacious present, and time and space are human constructs, and they are camouflaged. They're not real. 3D isn't real. Imagination. Everything is an imagination, is how Seth Neville calls it, and Seth talks about the spacious present. Okay. Part of the non-physical forces Seth is talking about are probabilities. He says, probabilities are an ever-present portion of your invisible psychological, all is mind, environment. You exist in the middle of a probable system of reality. It is not something apart from you. To some extent, it is like a sea in which you have your present being. So imagine that for a while. You're just surrounded by probabilities all around you, and you can't see it with your physical eye, but you can tap into it. You can tap into it in meditation, in the silence, in imagination. Because as soon as you catch it, as soon as you can think it, you not only know that it's close, otherwise you would not even be able to catch it, you also know that it's a probable reality. And then the question, of course, is, but how do I experience this probable reality? And I will get to that. So this sea, you are in it and it is in you. From it, you choose those pattern of thought which you will weave into the physical matter of your universe. So this is a very kind of like wollig, I don't know the English term for this, way of saying that your state of being and the thoughts that you think from that state of being, or the self-definition that you have a pattern of thoughts. There are certain thoughts that you keep thinking. Wow, that sounded very, I think, New York thoughts. You have certain thoughts that you keep thinking continuously, and that's why you see the same shit over and over and over again, or maybe the same amazingness over and over and over again, because I know that you also create amazing things. We all do. Yeah. Okay. So let's take a look at some of the more intriguing comments Seth makes regarding the nature of the field of probabilities, and we'll get a better sense of what it means to our creation efforts. Seth says this: the probable field is strongly composed of thought images, not physically materialized, but extremely vivid and actual storehouses of energy. So what he says, he calls it thought images. So some people say, I can't visualize, which isn't true, because you always have an image, and it doesn't matter, potato. When you think something happens. Something happens. Just believe that. Because that's how creation, something bit me, because that's how creation works. Yeah? Creation gets an image, a thought impressed on it. And when you continue to loop, that's why persistence is key, but I'll come to that later, because, yeah. That's why persistence is key, and keep saying the same thing, the same thing, the same thing, the same thing, the same thing. And then, it will pop into reality. So thought images. Extremely vivid and actual storehouse of energy. Thought images have an amazingly intense energy behind them and an unparalleled role in creation. Even the field of probabilities is composed of thought images, i.e., mental acts or suggestion. Thought images, this is important. Thought images are action. So this is Seth's terminology. Different teachers call it different. He calls thought images are action. And it's important because he will go into action later, so that you know when you hear action, you're like, oh yeah, action is actually thought. And I will clarify it as well when we get there. Remember that. And action, so thoughts, is what directs consciousness, what we actually are. We are consciousness through experiences. You use probabilities like blocks to build events, says Seth. An event can never be created from just one probability, because each probability is an action. Yeah? So thought is an action, is a probability. With the next action terminating the last, that's why the point of power is now. When I think something different now, that what I thought just now is poof, it's gone. So that's why resistance, for instance, when it takes longer to create something, usually you have opposing thoughts, and Abraham Hicks speaks about this. You have opposing thoughts, and they use the analogy of, I don't know if they use Poughkeepsie, like driving to, and I don't know if these are close or not, but I'm not from the States, yeah? So you put into your navigation system, I want to go to Dallas, and then you turn around and go back to Philadelphia. And then you're like, oh no, Dallas, oh no, Philadelphia, oh no, Dallas. You're not getting anywhere, are you? Because you're constantly turning. And so it's the same with, if you have a thought, you're like, oh yes, I'm going to create that. I'm going to create ease with money. Yes. And then the next thought is, oh, fuck, another bill. Oh no, how am I going to make it happen this month? Oh no. You see where I'm going? That is not thoughts in one direction. These are opposing thoughts. So it will take a bit longer because action against action against action. But if you constantly have the same thought, do the same action, have the same probability that you're choosing, then things can happen easily and in the flow, and there's no resistance, and it can happen easier. And the thought, yeah, but what is it? I've been doing this for so long. You know what that's creating, right? Because that's not trusting in the process. That's just saying, this shit doesn't work. That's just digging up the seed constantly. Is it really planted? Is it really planted? Is it really planted? Is it really planted? That's what that is. Okay. An event can never be created from just one probability, because each probability is an action, with the next action terminating the last. Flashing on the screen of camouflage reality, which is 3D, a whole new scene. An event is actually the result of numerous probabilities linked by significances in the spacious present. It can actually be simplified, Seth. Come on. Based on our mental acts in the moment point, and the changes to our mental acts in the moment point until a certain overall scenario can be said to have been experienced. I find this pretty funny because this is a roundabout way of saying Just keep repeating the same thing. And when you keep repeating the same thing, you will experience that thing. And it doesn't really matter if you believe it or not that much. It matters that you keep repeating the same thing. Just keep repeating, persist, repeat. Even if you don't see shit, just continue repeating, 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 and you will see it. It will. It is law. It is law. It is law. That's how it works. Okay. They give an example that I find a very boring example, so I'm not going to give you the example. I'm going to give you some examples from my personal life. And because I finally, but hey, I'm there, I finally get money and romance. I mean, huh? And this is not an interesting example for me. Okay. Each event that you form from any given set of probabilities automatically gives rise to new probabilities. So what this means is a new imaginative scene springs from another. So let's say you imagine having a lot of extra money this month. At one point, you also start to imagine, oh, I'm going to do this with the money. And when I've done this with the money, so let's say I'm going to buy something really beautiful to wear. Oh, and then I'm going to go with ... to there and there. And then, so that's actually what it means, that from one probability springs another, comes another, comes another. Because you don't just think, yeah, the money. Yeah, what are you going to do with the money? You're not just going to have it and sit and look at it and stare like, yeah, nice money. No. Well, maybe you do, but I don't think you will. Okay. In fact, what Seth chose to eventually experience as his final boring thing was itself an arbitrary event, because action doesn't stop still and freeze an event in place. And this is an important one, because it can't. And you know why? Because nothing is carved and set in stone. Things can always be changed after the fact. Everything constantly changes. And why it seems that something doesn't change is because you keep repeating the same ideas and thoughts and assumptions. But everything is constantly subject to change based on what you are now thinking. And that's why someone that is a billionaire can go broke and to billionaire or millionaire or whatever again, because everything constantly changes. And is that because something happened in the world, like there was a .com crash? Or no, it happened because there was a co-creative event with a lot of people. There was a loss in trust in self. There was, and the same, this whole specific people thing, right? That you have your partner, you're in love, you start to be really scared of losing them, you lose them, and you get them back or not, and you get a different specific partner and whatever. Everything is constantly changing based on what you and me and everybody is thinking in this right moment. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, because there is no yesterday and tomorrow, there's only now. Okay, arbitrary event. Consciousness can put arbitrary boundaries around an event through focused suggestion, so persistence in a particular thought, but the event continues to change and expand because of action. So, in a clearer way, but the event continues to change and expand because of thoughts, because a thought is action. And this is what gives us the freedom to open new options in our realities. The options are always there, awaiting our nod of suggestion in whatever direction we wish to go. So you're not tied to events. Never. Nothing is set in stone. If you believe in 3D reality, yes, you're going to have a hard time. But nothing is set in stone, dudes. That's why this is such an amazing game. So, consciousness can expand its events' arbitrary boundaries by growing its suggestions. So, think something different, assume something different, persist in this new assumption, or by lessening them. Either way, so you can go in all directions. Either way, the boundaries are expanded, never contracted, because all change is seen as expansion. So I'm going to give you a couple of more because this is already a pretty long video now. Before you make your decision, each of these probable actions are equally valid. And a decision means before you really double down on something, consciously or unconsciously, because it's indifferent to God, the universe, all that is. If you keep hammering on something consciously or unconsciously, you will meet the event in real life. And you can change it again if you allow yourself to change and to have that change and to believe that you can change it. The main nature of events, the majority of events, do not solidify until the last moment in your terms. And even then, they're still malleable. The field of probabilities assures consciousness it can change its mind at any time and alter the potential outcome of an event. So if something isn't yet set in stone, then you can still, and also after the fact, but you know that revision is sometimes harder, right? So then you're just going to be like, okay, I see this as a fixed event and now I'm going to change something. Now I'm going to create something different. You can revise so that it changes. And to be honest, I find revision, what's up with the hair? I find revision, I find it a waste of my time. I'd rather focus on creating a next new moment. It's potato, because it's also the past is now. But I find it easier to just focus on the future. Events can't be decided so far in advance we don't have time to rethink our position. True, there comes a moment when we're committed to the event because our beliefs are so in alignment with it, and true, those beliefs perhaps started the event in the first place, but, this is really cool and important, but if we awake from the immediate focus on linear time, cause and effect, there cannot be cause and effect, dudes, because that's linear time. You understand that, right? It's not because this happened, that should happen. No, it's your idea that comes from that makes that come after that. So linear time, cause and effect. And instead switch our belief to the one we know to be true about the moment points, because everything is now. Everything is now. So if you say, fuck that, I'm not going to believe that, I'm going to focus on that because I know how reality works, then that will happen. And that will just dissipate, poof, thin air. Don't even pay attention to it or to them or to whatever it is that you're trying to rub out of your life. And instead switch our belief to the one we know to be true about the moment point. Suggestion and the space is present and change can happen. Okay, this is the last part, and then I'm going to knit an end to this long video, but very valuable video, I think. At no time are events predestined. At every moment you can change, and every action changes every other action. So every new thought rubs out the thought before. So the point of power is now. It doesn't matter if you have been thinking the whole day about something. If you now decide, no, I'm going to say something different from now on, then that will continue to create and you will choose that probability. So you can always change your mind. There can be no predestination solely because of action's constant forcing of change. We are not and cannot be victims to predetermination by ourselves, our inner selves, or some strange energy outside of ourselves. If it happens, we created it. End of story. Draw book. Yeah, this was it, guys. I know this was valuable because I feel so much energy and I had so much inspiration to make this for you. So I know it's valuable. Keep reminding yourself of the nature of reality. In the comment section, I will give you a list of things to focus on. If you do not want to join me for whatever reasons in this June manifestation month, then read the things, decide for yourself. I am going to double down on money, love, job, health, whatever. Decide what you're going to double down on and stick to it. Come on, stop faffing around. Do you want change or not? Do you want it or not? You can choose. Like, I don't, you can choose. So either keep teeter-tottering or just decide for the month of June, I'm going to double down on this. Yeah, so the list is in the description. Affirm, persist, write, script, whatever floats your boat. Do a combination. Most importantly, and that's really the last thing that I'm going to say, also have fun with it. Because if it ain't fun, who wants that? No one wants that, right? So also really, really, really try to have fun with it. Because we're here playing a game of life. We're not here playing deathbed of life. Right? Okay. Love you very much. And I trust that this was valuable. I would say watch it again for sure. And I would also say listen to the subliminal that I posted yesterday. I'll put the link in the description. It's a really good one. It has all the good affirmations in there that you just want to inundate yourself with while you sleep, or maybe when you do something and you have it playing in the background. Love you. Over and out. See you in the next. Bye.